to your need to know for June 19th, coming to you from Meadow Mill. I'm Amanda. That's Alan, forever distracted by the sporting events going on to the right of
Senegal
him.
versus Poland.
Join us every Tuesday at 12:30 for your weekly news
What a
roundup
matchup.
and a discussion of current events and soccer. Feel free to comment and ask us questions in the field below. So let's get this started with this really ridiculous story from our nearest
Wild
neighborhood
stuff.
Dunkin Donuts.
Yeah, only like a few blocks away.
It's the local. It's
Well,
our local Dunkin'.
Maybe like a half mile away. Yeah, management at a Dunkin' Donuts on June 18th took down a sign encouraging customers to report employees speaking any language other than English by offering them a free pastry and coffee, according to Baltimore Fishbowl.
So wrong.
What people do for a free
So wrong.
pastry and coffee.
Do you think anyone actually called? Come on, really? Go ahead, keep going.
A photo posted by WBAL news producer Gillian Morley showed a sign printed on red construction paper with the following note to customers. If you hear any of our staff shouting in a language other than English, please call 443-415-7775 immediately with the name of the employee to receive a coupon for a free coffee and pastry, the general manager.
That's so bad.
Abi Sheth, who identified himself as the assistant manager of the franchise at 1020 West 41st Street, declined to comment on the sign and did not say when it was taken down. A company spokeswoman sent along a statement on June 18th that indicated that the franchise's general manager had initially intended to address a, quote, customer service and satisfaction issue by putting up the sign, but then took it down. Dunkin' Donuts and our franchisees share the goal of creating and welcoming an hospitable environment for all guests, the statement said. The franchise owner has informed us that the sign was posted by their general manager based on her own personal judgment to ensure those standards are being met. While her intent was to address customer service and satisfaction issues, the franchisee determined that her approach was inappropriate.
It was inappropriate. It smacks of McCarthyism to me.
Well, it would work in Tawnytown, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Tawnytown
Remember
had that,
how much they hate anything that doesn't speak English? I mean, come
Don't speak
on.
Spanish in Tawnytown.
So,
No habla español.
so I go to that Dunkin' Donuts,
Yeah.
and it has a lot of issues. I will say that, but I
I
don't
went
think
to it.
yeah, forget that.
Won't be going that much
But it's
anymore.
not. Well, first of all, this isn't the employee's fault, so should we really fault that? But there's issues in that store, and has nothing to do with them screaming in another language.
What are those?
There's long lines. I mean, a lot of it also is like its location is a little bit funky, so it's weird
Well,
in
the
there.
Chipotle next door does very good business.
Does
so,
it
yeah.
not long lines all the time?
Well, yeah. Long lines.
The lines are crazy.
Every Chipotle has long lines, right? Yeah.
Sure, okay, but
People love Chipotle. I don't know.
I know that's
I
like
like
a thing. It's
Chipotle.
like a cult of Chipotle.
Oh
But
my God, my son, he's a devotee.
anyway,
Kids like it.
yeah, this is gross, and we're not a city of tattletales. Like
Obviously, we are.
No, I would like to know the results. I would like to know how many phone calls they got and how many free pastries.
I think they're
really,
gonna keep that to
you're gonna
themselves.
pick up the phone and be like, "I just heard some non-English screaming. Give me a free coffee." Like if you started screaming at me in Hebrew, I might call this number and just tell them. I'm just gonna tell them and see what happens. Anyway,
Maybe they just need subtitles there or something.
oh, subtitles would be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in not wholly unrelated news, the immigration debate is out of control. It's not just raging; it's like on fire. To the degree that, did you know this? Every living first lady,
Including the current one.
all of them, I guess that's 4, right, has come out against the policy of separating children from their parents. So tell us the latest on some of this.
Well, the former CIA head has compared the U.S. immigration policies to Nazi Germany. Former head of the CIA and NSA, Michael Hayden, compared the Trump administration's immigration policies to Nazi Germany. In a tweet posted on June 16th, he wrote, "Other governments have separated mothers and children."
Yep.
This was under a black and white photo of Auschwitz as seen from the railroad tracks approaching the former death camp. The tweet is a response to reports that under the U.S. government's so-called zero-tolerance policy against illegal migrants, nearly 2,000 children have been separated from their parents or adult guardians after entering the U.S. And that, this happens a lot where everybody makes analogies to Nazi Germany, which is a tricky thing. It's a slippery slope, and I'm always a little uncomfortable with it, but I understand. Like I told you, I know somebody whose mom is a Holocaust survivor, was a hidden child, and she's having problems with this
Like
because it's
PTSD.
so reminiscent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's going on with a lot of Holocaust survivors. I'm sure they see this and
second
everything comes
generation kids,
coming
too.
right back.
Yeah.
And I mean, these were kids who were hidden. They were some of them, their parents gave them up because that was the only way for them to survive. But
Right.
can you imagine the strength it takes as a parent to do that? Like, yeah.
There are definitely some similarities there, although you got to be careful with the Nazis because that was a unique kind of thing in a lot of
It was
ways.
a unique kind of thing, but let's just to be clear, there are children in cages right now. There are 4-year-olds without their mothers. There are kids being given
unacceptable,
antipsychotic
especially
drugs
in America,
just in case they don't behave.
Right.
This is a huge issue. And also, to your point, Jeff Sessions came out and said that the Nazi comparison was an exaggeration. So
Right.
take that for what you will.
Right.
Our columnist, Michael Esker, also sounded off on the topic.
Yeah. He pointed out that over a 6-week period, roughly 2,000 children have been torn from their parents' arms and placed in detention centers or foster care. More than 100 of them are 4 years old or younger. And he pointed out, Michael Lesker pointed out that President Trump blames it on the Democrats. Under previous administrations, those caught entering the United States illegally faced deportation but not criminal charges, and they were not separated from their children. You can read more of Michael Lesker's views at jmoreliving.com. And I think he did a pretty eloquent job of expressing why he's upset about this, and a lot of people are upset about it. It was interesting because I posted it on Facebook, but an old dear friend of mine expressed his dismay with Michael's column. Not so much about what it was saying, but more just taking personal shots at the writer himself. So it just shows you how volatile this subject is and how, what we're going through as a nation right now. It's a very painful time.
Yeah, this is all it matters, and history is going to tell what, we can't say right now because we're in it, but the history books are gonna. This is trauma. This is horrible trauma.
Right.
Oh, hi, Raphael. Raphael Alvarez is here.
All right.
He wants to thank you for steering the ship, Cap and Al.
Okay.
What about me, Raphael? That's twice. That's 2 shows in a row you have had nothing to say about
He's
me.
a fine sailor.
Huh. So yeah, Raphael, what are you
Hi,
thinking?
Ralph.
What are you thinking about all these kids being
Tell us what you
snatched
think.
out of the arms of their parents and everything else? All right, if you're just joining us, this is JMOR's Need to Know on Facebook Live. Share, like, and follow at hashtag JMOR Need to Know. We are mad as hell and not taking it anymore because why would we? This is unacceptable. Reminder, Election Day is coming up.
Good segue.
Thank you. He called me chopped liver. Raphael just called me chopped liver.
Oh, jeez.
Thanks, Rafi.
He loves chopped liver.
I'll
though.
remember that.
He loves chopped liver.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
Election day.
Well, the primaries for the Republican and Democratic candidates will be taking place here in Maryland on June 26th. Among the most contested races of interest to the Jewish community will be for governor, Baltimore County Executive, the House of Delegates, and the Baltimore City and County councils. Jay Moore identified and spoke with candidates in some of those races to help you make informed choices. We asked we asked candidates, over 20 of them, 5 primary questions designed to get beyond the talking points by identifying some of those core values. You can read all about the candidates in our primaries roundup at jmoreliving.com, and I want to point out that, one of the candidates that we interviewed was our delegate from the 11th District, Shelley Heddleman, who's an old friend and is been involved in the political scene here for a long time. And you might have heard she had an upsetting episode recently where she was campaigning. She was out there on a corner, and some guy drove up to her and rolled down his window and said, "You don't represent us." And he said, "Heil Hitler" 5 times. So it shows you that there's something going on out there.
Yeah.
There's something very strong going on out there, and she's actually going to write something about it, about the experience. It will be up on our website very soon. And
look for that.
Look for it on jmoreliving.com.
That's hideous because, we think we live in this diverse city. We think we live in a democratic state for the most part. Mm-hmm. And, imagine how scary it is in other parts of the country. Here, we think we're safe. We think it's all good. We think everyone's all getting along and being nice to each other. That's disgusting. If you're out there and you're watching, you did that, shame on your whatever.
Watching
I'd like to say some
Facebook
really
Live.
bad non-English words right now, but I don't even know them.
could be wrong.
Raphael is going to go to the march in D.C. on June 30th.
Oh.
But here's how I feel about that, Raphael.
Well,
we all marched. We marched our butts off. We marched at inauguration.
You never march enough.
We marched for women's rights. What changed? Have we done anything? This man hasn't been impeached, for instance. I mean, why were we all marching? Yeah, okay, let's go march on June 30th in D.C. Maybe this time it'll do something.
You never know.
We never know. All right. Before we do the J word of the day, can you guess? Or maybe
Raphael,
since he's playing with us today.
Resident Jewish Catholic.
Yes, actually, this is a story for you, Rafi.
Our converso.
Yes, which I wrote about 20-something years ago. Do you know in which 2 states Catholics can get married outside?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, I know you do. Anyone else? Also, Deborah Wellicky is here, and she wants us to keep marching. Hi, Deb. Okay.
Hi, Deborah.
We will. It's just very frustrating. We were talking about those first ladies earlier, and, first it was just a trifecta. It was Michelle, Hillary, and Laura, who was Laura's amazing right now.
Really impressive lady.
But so that was going to be the trifecta, and they were going to save us all. But then we have to add Ivanka. I mean, not Ivanka. Sorry, Melania. Sorry, that's like a weird non-Freudian slip, isn't it? We have to add Melania because she did try, and then we have to add Gal Gadot just for good measure because she's going to handle the Israel side. Right. Why wouldn't you add Gal? You should always add. We haven't had a Gal Gadot item for a long time.
Yeah, she's keeping a low profile.
So then that's going to be the pentafecta. Is that what we decided I was calling it?
Yeah, pentafecta.
The pentafecta. Yeah. So we need all 5 of them to come in and just be the resistance. Help us, ladies.
Right. And I know you don't agree with me, but I really got to say I was impressed with the current First Lady because I think, between the lines of what she said, it spoke volumes. That, that was about as strong as she probably could get.
Yeah, right. Unless it was some other shiny point over there, let's create chaos, tactic that they like to do.
Right.
Who knows? Was that a plan? Or, it was a very tepid thing she said. Mm-hmm. And it was very two-sided, and it could have been taken any kind of way. But yes, you're right. She said something. All right, so
she didn't have to say anything.
So Raphael's not guessing because we've stumped him because he's. What kind of Catholic are you?
Well, the answers are. I'll let you say.
I'm gonna say the answers: Maryland and Montana.
Wow. Ever been to Montana?
Yes, actually, Bozeman.
Gorgeous.
It is gorgeous.
Big sky.
That is blue. Yep, big blue.
It really
sky.
is a big sky.
I love it there.
Yeah,
I should just go buy a ranch and be a cowpoke.
Well, anyway, the Code of Catholic Canon Law from the Vatican, of course, says that marriages performed by a priest are meant to be celebrated in the bride or groom's parish church. Who knew? Jews don't do that. But some U.S. dioceses are starting to test the boundaries of that law, which says that with permission of the proper Catholic authority, a priest can perform a marriage in another suitable place. Mm-hmm. The Archdiocese of Baltimore began testing a new policy in February that allows priests and deacons to request to marry a couple somewhere other than their parish church, according to the Washington Post. Archdiocese Chancellor Diane Barr, no relation to Roseanne Barr, said priests have asked to marry 50 couples in venues such as hotels and museums, and all requests were approved. Baltimore decided to take a route that the Diocese of Helena, Montana, took 2 years ago, allowing priests to perform wedding ceremonies in an array of locations, including outdoors.
Yep.
The Baltimore Archdiocese officially changed the policy on Valentine's Day this year, but did not publicize it online until last week. I wonder why.
I think a lot of dioceses are going to start doing it, but not advertise it because they prefer that you would first try to do it inside in the church.
Right. Well, I know we disagree on this, but I've been to several Catholic weddings. I think they're pretty beautiful the way they're done. But you obviously disagree.
I'm not a big fan of the Catholic wedding ceremony.
The rituals and the pageantry.
I think it's a lot of ritual and a lot of pageantry, and they go on
but
and on.
They are long.
And I would love to just be sitting outside in a pretty setting for that. I think that would be great.
Yeah.
And also, we've been talking about this a lot. This goes back to the conversation that places of worship everywhere are sort of adjusting their rules. They're bending. They're allowing
They've gotta.
casual because they're losing numbers. And so
Organized religion is having a lot of problems.
Exactly.
Obviously.
A friend of mine goes to Saturday Mass, which I guess is the more casual one. But I saw her leaving. This is the person I'm living with right now. But I saw her leaving the house in jeans and a sneaker, and I was like, "That's what you wear to Mass?" And she said, "Well, yeah, it's the Saturday one. It's casual." I'm shocked by that. I still don't think I would walk into a synagogue in sneakers and jeans, but like
I think
Alaska
more people
wrote,
would go to synagogue if they could go in sneakers and
true,
jeans.
right, true.
The funny thing is, years ago, I did a story about mega churches, and I interviewed these young guys that were part of and they liked dressing up because their whole point was,
when else do you do that?
I wear jeans all the time and T-shirts, and when I go to church, I want to dress nice.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, and they were looking at all these middle-aged people, and they're like, they're trying to be young, and they're not.
Yeah,
so,
right. I like
funny.
the hip look. I think more power into them, and I think the Catholic Church is trying this because too many people were requesting, or they wanted to go just have a non-Catholic ceremony because they wanted to be outside or they wanted to be somewhere prettier.
Right.
But also, you can't do it on a boat. Because when they write the marriage license, it has to say an actual like whatever it's called, not municipality, but wherever the church is, it has to say it. So you can't say it on a boat.
International waters doesn't.
Yeah, no.
Do it. Okay.
So Raphael, I don't know what you're doing, but
he's asleep.
He just noted. No, he's there being
he is? Okay.
ridiculous, but he just noticed that we have the same hair. So I don't know what you're implying, but let me just explain this to you. We're both Jewish. It happens. So anyway, I don't know if he thinks we're related. Maybe we are.
We're all related, aren't we?
All right. Give us a J word of the day.
All right.
This is enough.
The J word of the day is a Hebrew one. It's actually a phrase, though. Am horitz. What's it mean? A vulgar, ill-mannered, uneducated man or woman. Usage, that Joseph is such an Amharitz, it's a wonder he's still on the job.
Yeah, Joseph. I think half of DC
you know who
right
you are,
now.
Joseph.
You're an Amharitz. I've had it with all of you Amharitzes.
By the way, I think Deborah Wallachie recently had a birthday, and I want to wish her a very happy belated birthday. I'm sorry I didn't wish it to you earlier, but happy birthday,
Happy
Deborah Wallachie.
birthday, Deborah Wallachie.
Maybe Alvarez, too. You never know.
Happy birthday,
I don't know when his
Alvarez.
birthday
Whatever.
is.
I think he did just recently. Yeah, he did,
Did
sort
he?
of.
Okay,
Yeah.
happy birthday.
All right.
Yom Haledet Sameach.
Whatever he just said. JBiz, J More Special Jewish
Yes.
Entrepreneurship Issue.
There it
Is
is.
that on stands now? Read more about it at jmoreliving.com/JBiz.
All right.
Remember to join us here on Facebook Live Tuesdays at 12:30 for your Need to Know News Roundup. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and follow at #JMoreNeedToKnow. And go to jmoreliving.com for more news updates. Grab one of these. This is your primaries primer. And it'll help you vote next week.
Primer or primer?
It's primer. I agree it's primer. I mean,
Okay.
I agree with myself. That
I've
is
heard
primer.
both.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
All
always
right.
curious.
We're leaving now. Hug
And don't
your
forget to vote next Tuesday.
Right, with this. And hug your parents and keep your children close.
Bye-bye.
Bye.